Hey, good morning. I want to, wish you and your family, all the very best on this MLK Day 2021. My friend Charles Bryce and we used to have an MLK dinner, and we'd meet and we'd reflect on, the important things of the years past, and in a sense how they'd moved us closer to the realization of King's dream. I think we can't do this now, but I just want to kind of have what we would have said, right? And I think what we would have said was the really critical things are that we've experienced in this past years to COVID-19 and the real damage that this has caused in our communities, and the way that it is sort of exposed the systemic and structural kind of racist fault lines in the culture. I think that would be one really important thing, and the implications therein. The other thing I think we would have sort of reflected on was the horror and the disbelief of watching the brutal murder of George Floyd. And then I think we would have been pleased by the emergence of the Black Lives Matter movement in the way that it did, and really the inclusive nature of the Black Lives Matter movement, and all of those kids from all across the country who stood up and said, hey, this kind of policing is unacceptable in the United States. And then I think finally we would have noted the sort of white supremacist insurrection. I think as the pictures have become apparent, as the videos become apparent, what we see there is something that is deeply, deeply, deeply troubling, and it speaks to the broad nature of how we deal with the disinformation that is ubiquitous in our world today. And I suppose this is the message for King. One of the things that Dr. King talked about in terms of education, is he says we have to sift and weigh the evidence. We have to learn how to sift and weigh the evidence. We have to be able to discern what is true and what is false, and we have to be able to distinguish fact from fiction. And so I think, perhaps in a sense, this is the work that needs to be continued. We need to continue to build institutions that can sift and weigh evidence and can act on evidence. We can not just what we hear someone say, but we can get to the heart of the matter. We have to be able to discern what is true and what is false, and we have to be able to communicate that effectively. And then we have to really understand the difference between fact and fiction, right? Fiction is when you have a story where the facts don't align with the story, So you have to have reality-based stories where the facts align with the story. And I think, unfortunately, for many of our brothers and sisters who stormed our capital and who, in a sense, desecrated the place in the name of trying to, some kind of patriotic, with some kind of patriotic ethos, or seemingly patriotic ethos. This is really a question about how we learn, each and every one of us, to be citizens of a democracy, and to really understand the importance of reading and sifting and weighing the evidence, and understanding how we discern between truth and falsehoods, and how we really understand the difference between facts and fiction. And so today, on this MLK Day, I'm just urging you to reflect on facts and fiction. It's really vitally important for what emerges in this 2021. I think there are going to be some serious, there are some challenges ahead, and we really have to begin to see that part of the way we manage that challenge is by managing our understanding of the information in the world